Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Tcr Europe, the final two races of the 2024 season. My name is Paul Jeffrey and I am delighted to welcome you all to the circuit Ricardo Tormo here in Valencia for what is set fair to be a title decider of the ages. It is, as you can see on your screen, a wonderful day in Spain, perfect weather conditions in which to go racing, and I am delighted to welcome you all with us for what I promise you is going to be a very intense and very exciting motor race indeed. Three of our drivers head into this championship separated by a handful of points. Qualification happened a little bit earlier on today, so the 5-point advantage enjoyed by Franco Girolamo is now extended to a healthy 9 points over Aurelian Comte. Ignacio Montenegro, courtesy of pole position, has closed his deficit to just 28 points, setting us up for two races that should be full of drama. There are drivers having to fight back a little bit. Drivers, the likes of Franco Girolamo, having to defend for all he is worth at the head of the pack. Could not be better positioned for the race. As you can see on your screen, there is a support race still taking place. The Caterhams are out on track, will be going in a few moments' time. But before that, a little bit earlier on today, we had a word with our three title contenders to try and understand what they're going through on the build-up to this race. So let's have a look at what Franco Girolamo, Aurelian Comte and Ignacio Montenegro had to say about their strategy heading in to this, the final two races of the 2024 season.
For sure, I mean, the strategy is gonna be go step by step. First, we do already FP1, FP2 and quali, and now race by race. There is a lot of points, so in that point it's like one weekend more. You know, we have the same point that all the year, 90 points. So it's a lot of, and we have to keep going, keep forward, and try to not make the mistake, and try to not have a lot of pressure. You know, it's a one weekend more, as I say, and we will try to do as best as possible.
The strategy is the maximum attack for the title. So now we have the qualifying, so we push maximum for, I hope, with the pole position. So and we will see. I'm going to give my best as always. So we will see after the.
Nacho Montenegro, what is your strategy heading into this weekend?
Well, we have to almost win everything. I mean, we are out of a lot of points behind Franco and Comte, but we have still a chance to win the championship. I think also have two really strong teammates, that is Bolt and Lonsowski, that they have a really good pace also in races. So I have to win race 1, race 2, have a good points after qualifying, and then trying to put all that up together in qualifying. Also, as I told you, race 1 and race 2, trying to win the first one. I start from the top, and then the second one starting from P into the top 10, and then trying to catch the guys in front of me and win as well. Then I mean, I had to work like with as like a teammate, like Ruben Bolt and Lonsowski, as I told you. They had to really push to catch them, to catch Girolamo and Comte, and trying to do the dirty job as a team, and then trying to get the most points as possible. Yeah.
All of those drivers, of course, we spoke to before qualifying, and prophetically, it was Ignacio Montenegro who said, I have to win everything coming into this weekend. Well, he immediately did so in qualification, took the pole position. Aurelian Comte, he was hoping for pole, and with it, the 10 points for his championship charge. That didn't quite go to script for the SP competition driver. He'll be starting from 5th on the grid for this first race. We'll take a look at that grid in a little while. But what it does mean for us at home, what it means for us at the circuit, is we've got an interesting race in front of us. We've got the likes of Aurelian Comte. We know he can charge forward. We know his pace is quick in race conditions. He knows how to overtake. He can get the elbows out. From 5th place on the grid, he's got to do some overtaking. There's no other option for the French driver. He needs to charge forwards. Then you look at Franco Girolamo starting in 2nd place. He's our most winningest driver in Tcr Europe in 2024. 3 victories to his name, 5 fastest laps during the course of a race. Girolamo is poised in a difficult position Does he push? Does he challenge Montenegro at the front of the field? Does he consolidate and keep an eye on what Aurelian Comte is doing behind? That's a difficult position. That's a pressure situation for the Argentinian driver, and that's going to cause his fair share of anxiety, I am certain, as we're heading to this 14-lap race. And because we're here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, we're at a track, it's very short, relatively speaking, 2.488 miles or 4 kilometres in length, just 14 corners. There are good overtaking opportunities, but there are also opportunities to get wrapped up in other drivers' incidents. It could not be more intense, tense, dramatic, however you want to put it, for those three championship contenders. And then let's throw into the mix, and this one's a little bit less competitive in terms of how close they are. There's a team's title to be decided this weekend as well. If things go as expected, and unless something dramatic happens, I dare say it will be ALM Motorsport that wrap up that team's championship at the conclusion of this first race. We'll keep our eye on that one. Of course, ALM Motorsports are also in it for the overall driver's title. Our rookie champion, Nacho Montenegro, the reigning TCR South America champion, and the rookie in this series in TCR Europe. He's already won the rookies, but he's very interested in the overall title as well. Take a look at our Cupra safety car. Hopefully, we will not be needing that one during the course of the race. 14 laps are scheduled. Should we have a safety car intervention, by the regulation, we can increase the race length by a maximum of 2 laps, making it a 16-lap encounter. It's short, it's sharp, and it's bound to be absolutely full of drama. Another title that we are to decide over the course and conclusion of this weekend would be the Diamond Trophy. Felipe Fernandez is currently the leader of said trophy. He has 209 points. Nicola Baldan is second in the standings there on 166. So 43 points for the Italian driver to make up on Felipe Fernandez. Not impossible, but it's going to be quite difficult for Nico Baldan. We didn't see him last time out at Brno, but of course we know he's competitive. 7th he was in qualification. He showed good pace over the course of the weekend, so the Audi driver most certainly is looking to end the year in TCR Europe on a high. And he's also, of course, racing in TCR Italy, where he leads that championship, does Nico Baldan. So it's been a dual programme for the Italian, the experienced Italian, in fact, and he's done really great work in the Baldan group by ComTU Audi. And, of course, he's got a teammate this weekend as well, which is very, very nice. Jimmy Claire is back in TCR Europe, under the Baldan group by ComTU banner, but rather than the Audi, he's in the new Cupra Leon VZ TCR. So it's been good to see Jimmy Claire back in the championship, and we do have a few new names. It's worth mentioning some of those drivers that are with us this weekend. Nicholas Taylor for PMA Motorsports, the Audi RS3 LMS, the Canadian driver, first Canadian driver in TCR Europe. He's currently running in 3rd position in TCR Italy, so he's having a good year himself. Then we've also got the likes of Sandro Paletti, the experienced Italian for PMA Motorsports, again in an Audi. Sandro had a reasonably strong qualifying until unfortunately ending in the gravel, bringing to an end Q1 a little bit earlier today. I've had a word with driver and team. That car will be on the grid though, so Sandro expects no problems. Then for the JT59 racing team, it is the Portuguese driver Daniel Teixeira. He's taking part this weekend as well. The car they'll be participating is a welcome return to the Hyundai brand. The Hyundai Elantra and TCR back in TCR Europe again, which is really good to see. And then Jensen Brickley for the Jensen Brickley racing team, leader of TCR Spain. He's here in the Cupra Leon VZ TCR. So a nice and healthy 18-car grid to round out what has been a very, very exciting season of racing in TCR Europe. Several drivers that'll be new to us in this category this year, but already impressing over the course of free practice and qualification. Jimmy Claire, 9th in qualifying, just behind Jensen Brickley, who will start in 8th position. So both drivers very quick off the marks in their welcome return, as a welcome debut in TCR Europe. And of course, Victor Fernandez as well rounds out the trio of Fernandez brothers in TCR Europe. He's here for the RC2 Junior team, and he'll be piloting another one of the venerable Audis, the RS3 LMS. So keep your eye out for Victor Fernandez as well. There we can see ALM Motorsports. Martin Lahr, team manager, pushing the car back there of Ignacio Montenegro. Hopefully for Martin, we'll be speaking to him at the end of this race, should they deliver the expected title, the team's title for ALM. It's been a very, very impressive year for the Honda squad, and they're doing fabulous work so far, and in qualifying as well. Things look very, very strong. Montenegro is absolutely the outsider for the championship, but he's doing everything within his power, is the young Argentine driver, to keep himself in that championship title conversation right the way through to the very, very last moment. And pole position goes a very long way indeed to cementing his chances, at the very least, of overtaking our long-time leader, Franco Girolami, and his main rival this year, Aurelien Comte. So on we go then on the reconnaissance sight a lap from pit lane. Conditions here at Valencia very much like we've seen all weekend long. Beautiful sunshine, very, very nice circuit condition. We've seen a few support races, the Caterhams, as we came on air, were on track, so there's a little bit of cement dust has been put down where someone's been leaking some kind of fluids. Good opportunity for the drivers just to see what's changed, see how the rubber, they run different tyres of course than the Kumos that we run in TCR Europe, so there'll be extra layers of rubber down there that will change the vibe and the feel of the circuit a little bit. But broadly speaking, these drivers have had plenty of laps now, 2 free practice sessions, 2 sessions of qualification. They know the track, they know the conditions. All that's left to do is see who can race each other to the checkered flag. And it is wonderful to be here in Valencia, of course. Pretty much to the driver, everybody has waxed lyrical about how they've enjoyed this Ricardo Tormo circuit. First time TCR Europe have been here at Valencia. The track opened in 1999, so a relatively new facility. Great facilities all around, fabulous for spectators. From the balcony, this camera's positioned on here, and there's also a grandstand a little bit higher. You can basically see the entirety of the lap. It's a wonderful, wonderful place for the spectators to come and enjoy these races. You can follow the race from absolutely beginning to end. And it's a great way to end the year, of course, for TCR Europe on a circuit where passing is possible, the driving challenge is enjoyable, and the weather is somewhat pleasant as well. So we will be crowning champions this weekend. Big question is, do we crown them in race 1 or tomorrow morning in race 2? Montenegro going for another sight a lap around the circuit. Just again, opportunity, make sure the car's okay, check the track conditions, see where that cement dust has been put down to mop up any spillages, and just fully understand exactly what you're going to be encountering, because from pole position, assuming he gets away from the line, of course, well, Montenegro will be the first driver to come upon these track conditions in a racing circumstance. That's a driver as well that I'd like to talk to about, Victor Andersson. What a qualifying for the Swedish driver, the small family-run MAGP. Mattias Andersson, of course, being his father and a very famous driver in his own right, in the STCC back in the day. Very small family-run team. They had a great run last time out, got that podium that the pace has so often threatened to deliver, but one reason or another, it's never quite worked out. Free practice, the car was reasonably fast, the driver was reasonably fast, in and around the top 10. Come qualifying, found the pace, a brilliant qualification performance. Andersson, right at the very end of Q2, threw the car up in a 3rd position for race 1. Sensational quality result, also sensational just behind him, occupying the 2nd row of the grid, is a home hero here today. One of the drivers that's been impressing me so much over the course of this year, Santiago Concepcion for Goat Racing. Very, very young Spanish driver. Every time you see him on the racetrack, he just seems to have learnt a bit more, gained a little bit more confidence, found a little bit more speed. He came from absolutely nowhere in qualifying to put it on the 2nd row of the grid. A really, really strong result for the Honda driver. Santiago, hopefully for him, can convert that very good qualifying pace into a solid race result at the conclusion of this one. They'll be starting in just a few minutes' time. Spoke to him just on the way up to the commentary box, actually. Asked him sort of, where's that come from? Where did that pace come from? And he says, I managed to find the trick of the circuit. As soon as I knew how to do that one, the pace came straight in the car, and I think Santiago will be taking some confidence from that one for sure, and looking by far and away for his best result of the sometimes tricky but certainly deeply impressive 2024 season for that young man in the GOAT Racing Honda Civic. So keep an eye out for that one. Car number 33 starting from the back of the second row of the grid. You see now the cars have pretty satisfied with their reconnaissance laps. Heading to the grid. Only a few moments then and we'll be under green flag conditions and we can get going on the penultimate race of the year. Can you believe we're here already? It's been a roller coaster season, it has to be said. We've really enjoyed. We started back in April at Vallelunga alongside the Kubo FIA TCR World Tour. Then we moved over in May to Zolder. Weather conditions ever so slightly different to what we see here, it has to be said. But again, splendid race, brilliant to revisit Zolder. Then in June, we went over to the Salzburg Ring. Optimal conditions? Most certainly not. A little bit of the wet stuff was out there for the Salzburg Ring. Produced some fantastic racing, a classic racetrack, and a wonderful place to go racing. Then in July, we went to Spa-Francorchamps. Again, back in the Belgian region. Spa needs no introduction, it has to be said, and produced another interesting race. Then last time out, Brno. Anybody who's familiar with the world of touring cars that enjoys touring cars of yesteryear will know about Brno, the Czech Republic. A great circuit, wonderful facility. That put on a slightly more sedate race, it has to be said, but positioned us in such a way that our championship challenge could not be any closer. And now we're here at Valencia for the final throwdown, the last two races of the 2024 season. And as I say, it's been a roller coaster. We've had some dramas, we've had some ups, we've had some downs, but one thing we've certainly had is a very, very tight challenge. The quality of the field, in parts, not been as large as we would have liked, but the quality has always been at the absolute top level. We've got experienced drivers, returning champions, champions from other TCR disciplines, and young, up-and-coming superstars. It could not be any better. The future of touring car racing, the future of tin top racing is safe in the hands of some of these superstars, not least of whom is Ignacio Montenegro on pole position. As I say, came in from TCR South America as the champion, came to Europe and TCR Europe for the first time, started to show very impressive pace over and above what we expected for such a young man. Took the Rookies Team Championship. He was happy with the Rookie Drivers Championship, of course, but the eyes are on the prize. The eyes are on the main title. And as you saw at the beginning of the show, he said we have to win everything to be in contention. Well, he's already done the job in qualifying, taking that pole position, the 10 points that come with it, closing the gap to this man, Franco Girolami. Great job considering the 40 kilos aboard the Monlau Motorsports Cupra. Franco, second on the grid for this race, is in a prime position to extend his lead, but he's got the small matter of 17 other cars pretty hungry to take positions away from him, not least of whom is, of course, Victor Anderson, starting in third for MAGP. That is the bright orange Lincoln Co., the sole Lincoln Co. Though having the TCR Europe field, there is Victor. Tejas Anderson, Grand Prix. Great qualifying to end his season. They'll be very, very much looking to take a much-deserved victory, it has to be said. The car and driver have always looked threatening for that big result. And now the opportunity is definitely very much on the cards for Victor Anderson. Alongside him is Santiago Concepcion. There we see the GOAT Racing, car number 33. Very young man, Spanish driver on home soil. As I've already mentioned, was devastatingly quick in qualification. And he'll be hoping desperately that he can carry that forward into the race in a few moments' time. He has got a bit of a problem, though, and that is none other than Frenchman Aurélien Comte for SP competition behind. Aurélien Comte came into this one 5 points adrift in second. He's now 9 points away from the championship lead. In fifth position, the French driver, the Cupra squad, have got a lot of work to do indeed. Aurélien is one of those drivers that we've seen many, many times. He's not afraid to sharpen the elbows and get them out, to charge it through the field. I expect it to be electric watching that charge. And then in sixth place, another driver that's not afraid to get the elbows out, it has to be said, and he's usually quite sparky off the line as well. Ruben Volt, another one of the ALM Motorsport Honda racing cars. He'll be desperate, beyond desperate, to clear those drivers ahead and help his teammate as much as humanly possible. The young Estonian driver, deeply impressive in 2024, 2 race victories to his name. I think we'll see a lot of Ruben Volt in years to come. Alongside him, the vastly experienced Nico Baldan. Nico Baldan in the Baldan group by Conti Audi, doing wonderful thing in TCR Italy, of course, the Italian driver, dual program. Alongside that campaign, leading the TCR Italy standings, and he's here in TCR Europe again, once again. Great to see Nico. He starts in 7th position. He's got ambitions of moving on up the order, given the opportunity, and he's got a debutant alongside him. That is Great Britain's Jenson Brickley. Jenson racing in TCR Spain this year and leads the TCR Spain Championship standings. So he's got form, that is for sure. And the family-run car, there is the Cupra VZ, the new Cupra, looking wonderful actually in the Jenson Brickley Racing livery. Car number 246, might be his debut in TCR Europe, but I dare say he has ambition. Speaking to him earlier on today, he was hoping for a top 6 in qualification, but obviously he will benefit from the reverse grid for race 2 tomorrow morning. Then just behind Jenson Brickley is Jimmy Claret, a name that you will know very well indeed if you followed the world of TCR Europe. Great to have Jimmy Claret back once again. There's the Cooper driver, particularly attractive livery as well, I must say. It is a Baldan group by Comtu car, but it is of course not the Audi. The Nico Baldan is driving, Jimmy Claret, French driver, always popular in the paddock and with the fans. He's done a great job in qualification to get that 9th on the grid. Just ahead of the Macedonian Victor Davidovski. Victor, of course, is in the Monlau Motorsports Cupra, teammate to Franco Girolamo, who's fighting for the championship. But Davidovski may struggle to work his way up and give some support to his Argentinian teammate in this race, but he will be starting on the reverse grid pole. So there is opportunity aplenty for Victor Davidovski in his own particular battle as well in the Diamond Trophy. Wave to camera there for Victor in the 110. When we move on down to 11th, a man that's had his fair share of drama this weekend, Levente Lasonche, another one of the trio of ALM Motorsports driver. Levente, very quick in free practice, was quick in qualifying until he said hello to the gravel trap, and that stunted his charge somewhat. But Levy, car's in good condition, is in good working order. He was disappointed for that 11th on the grid. He'll start there for both races, of course. I think he was hoping for a little bit more, but we know that that young man has massive pace on board that Honda Civic. Expect him to start moving forward very, very soon indeed. 12th position then goes to Felipe Fernandez. Fernandez even, racing for Goat Racing. There is Felipe, car number 19. He is, as mentioned earlier, the leader of the Diamond Trophy here in TCR Europe. He's in a good position, but he has got his main rivals ahead of him. So Felipe has work to do. A trio of the Fernandez brothers on the grid today, Ruben and Victor joining him for this particular race. And Ruben in fact, is the next one behind him. Ruben Fernandez will be starting in 13th position ahead of our debutant here this weekend, Nick Taylor. There is Ruben Fernandez, RC2 Junior car. Plain white. Nice and easy for us to spot on the TV. And in the commentary box, it has to be said, Ruben Fernandez, solid job in qualifying. 13th position, couldn't quite sneak in to the Q2. Still great work. And as I say, alongside him, his PMA Motorsport driver and a debutant here in TCR Europe. The Canadian driver, first Canadian we've had in TCR Europe, Nicholas Taylor. Nicholas, of course, is very competitive in TCR Italy. He's currently 3rd in the TCR Italy standings. Disappointed with how things went in qualification, it has to be said. But still expect that car to move forward. The Audi knows plenty about racing in the world of TCR competition. It's one of the older models on the grid. Still very, very competitive. And Nick Taylor, we just saw briefly there in 14th ahead of Giovanni Scamardi. Another one of the title contending teammates, Giovanni Scamardi. He's in 15th, teammate to Aurelian Con. But again, very far away from really being able to offer some support to his teammate. Then rounding out the grid, Sandro Pilati is in 16th. Victor Fernandez will start in 17th, and then in 18th position, and last on this grid is Daniel Teixeira for the JT59 Racing team and the sole Hyundai Elantra N TCR, which is great to see the Hyundai back on the grid in TCR Europe. First time we've seen that car, that model, that brand this year, and it's wonderful that at the final round they make a bit of a comeback in the hands of the JT59 Racing team. So then, we know the championship positions. We've seen the grid. We know who's starting where for this first race. Feels like a pretty good time to get going, I think. Do you not agree? I hope so. So in a few moments, there we go, that's the green flag. The formation lap leading them around would be Nacho Montenegro. Then Franco Girolami, Victor Anderson, Santiago Concepcion in fourth position. Who's going to get away from the line first? That's the big question. It's a bit of a pinch point, this T1. A lot quicker than it looks on the TV screen, it has to be said. You don't want to be side by side into that opening corner. You've got a good amount of runoff if you do find yourself in some kind of strife. But the likes of Franco Girolami in the red machine, the red Monlau car that you see in second position with the yellow wing mirrors, he'll be hoping to avoid any kind of dramas in these opening few laps. What Franco needs is a drama-free race. He even could afford to maybe lose a position to Victor Anderson behind. Preserve the car, bank the points. That's the name of the game. Nacho Montenegro has the easiest job of everybody. He has no connotations to work out. He's got no, should I do this, should I do that? He just needs to go as fast as he possibly can to take the checkered flag and win at the points. That's the only thing that'll do to keep Nacho Montenegro in that conversation for the title. And then there, going through your shot, the grey and blue machine, the SP competition car, Aurelien Comte. Started, as you saw in the interview at the top of the show, wanted to be on pole position coming into this one. 10 kilos lighter than Franco Girolami. Qualifying, though, was not the playbook that he was hoping for. Fifth place means only one thing for Aurelien Comte. You've got to push, you've got to move forward. And I dare say, if I was Santiago Concepcion, I'd be looking in my mirrors thinking, nope, don't want to get involved in that one. Off you go, sunshine, because Aurelien will be somewhat enthusiastic, shall we say, about moving forward as fast as he possibly can to stay in contention with his two main title rivals behind. So here we go, then this is one of the more difficult corners on the circuit. The run down 13 into 14. Drops downhill, very easy to lock a tyre, very easy to run a little bit deep over the curbs and into dramas. I think many of the drivers will be cautious of that one over the opening couple of laps as the tyres, the brakes, the cars and their mindset all warm up for the racing action. It's a wonderful circuit here, the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Fabulous place to go touring car racing, fabulous place to end our 2024 season. And I dare say somebody will agree with me at the end of this race, and probably to us a little bit less so, depending on how the cards fall in the championship charge. So there is Montenegro, pulling up into his grid spot. Alongside him, Girolami. These two drivers, both from Argentina, both looking to score big points. Franco Girolami for his second title. Nacho Montenegro for his first TCR Europe Championship, to go with the TCR South America title he so convincingly secured last season. Youth versus experience. And a wily fox as well is Aurelien Comte, a few yards back. Green flag then waves at the back of the grid for the penultimate time in 2024. The TCR Europe field are go, and it's a great start at the front of the field, as you were side by side. Girolami, though, seems to have the better second stage of the launch. Will the Argentine driver get the lead? Yes, he will. Franco Girolami, a very nice move on Montenegro into T1 a little bit further back. There's one of the Hondas trying to get into strife as well. Concepcion's had a bad start. He's dropped a little bit further back. It seems he's been swapped by Nico Baldan and Jenson Brickley. But at the front of the field, and Nacho Montenegro did not enjoy that whatsoever. Glued to the rear of Franco Girolami's car. Can Girolami defend as everything's getting up to temperature? Victor Anderson does well in the Lincoln Co. in fourth position. Aurelien Comte up one already as well, so Santiago Concepcion drops down the running order a little bit. Good start, it seems, for Jenson Brickley. That is fifth position for Brickley, so good start for Jenson. He's moved up one place off of the line, but look, there's Aurelien Comte in the blue and silver car trying to find a way past the orange machine of Victor Anderson. This could be our three championship rivals in the top four at this moment in time. Victor Anderson being the interloper, though. Will the MAGP machine concede position, or can the Swedish driver hold on? As at the front of the field, Girolami leads from Montenegro. That is an absolutely perfect start then for Franco. We wondered how much aggression he was going to use in the opening few corners. The answer is a lot. And that's the way, the best form of defence is attack, attack, attack. And that's exactly what Franco Girolamo is doing already. He's starting to eke a little bit of a gap out to the chasing pack, in fact, as we run through now T14, the final corner of the lap, and onto the start-finish straight to break the timing beam for the very first time. It is Girolamo from Montenegro. Victor Anderson a little further back, a couple of car lengths away in third. I dare say he's going to find Aurelien Comte glued to his rear bumper before too long. But this is perfect. This is exactly how the script needed to go for Franco Girolamo. He can't secure the title if things stay like this, but he will help his points haul no end indeed. Montenegro, though, he's no shrinking violet. He's not going to be content to sit behind his fellow Argentinian driver. Second place ain't no good to Nacho Montenegro. He needs to find a way to leverage himself past that Cupra. Honda Cupra. Honda for Montenegro, Cupra for Girolamo. Which car is going to have the most pace at this stage in the race? In fact, there you can see Jenson Brickley did move up one into 5th position. Tcr Race had a good start from 9th all the way up to 6th as well. Santiago Concepcion drops down into 7th place. Who else is a big mover and a shaker at this early stage? Victor Fernandez had a bit of a nightmare all the way down in 18th position. Not quite sure what happened to Victor, but he's lost place to Daniel Teixeira. So good start for Daniel in the Hyundai. Again, just building his experience, building his confidence. The more laps he puts in, the faster he is getting. There you go, look at the back of your shot. That is a change of position, potentially. Ruben Volt to the inside. Ruben Volt to the inside of Nico Baldan. That's going to become the outside, though, so Baldan is in prime spot. And they're squabbling away. We're taking a look at the rundown now. Look, Jenson Brickley is not afraid to get involved as well. He's trying to attach himself to the back of Aurelien Comte. But there is the fight, though. There is the squabble behind. Still side by side, it seems, with Nico Baldan and Ruben Volt. We cross the line. Victor Davidovsky trying to buy into that one as well, it seems. Too wide for the run into T1. I said at the start of the show, you don't want to be too wide there. And everybody makes it through, thankfully, as Victor Anderson still holding on. I say holding on, in fact, really, he's kind of gapping Aurelien Comte a little bit at this stage. Anderson carrying a little bit of compensation weight, 30 kilos to be precise. And Aurelien Comte also on the same level of weight. So everything's all fair and well, but Aurelien Comte does not look comfortable in that blue and silver machine. Look at Jenson Brickley all over the back of the number 7. Aurelien not finding the pace at this early stages of the race, it doesn't seem. And this is not what he needs, not what the French driver needs at all. He needs to be looking forward, not checking the rear view mirror. But Jenson Brickley, he's definitely got nothing to lose in this one. It is all about the result today. He's got no championship to worry about. This is his debut in TCR Europe. Doesn't care for reputations, doesn't care for championship challenges. He just wants the result for himself and his family-run team. And Brickley certainly has the body language of a driver that's more than a little bit interested in the rear of Aurelien Comte's car ahead. And there is Anderson, some kind of strife for Victor Anderson. We saw a comfortable-ish gap last time around at the line. Victor Anderson had just under a second. Now he's got absolutely nothing. This is the opportunity for Aurelien Comte. Side by side they go for the run across the line. Aurelien has the inside line. The Cupra has the line, he has the high ground. Victor Anderson doesn't feel too enthusiastic about fighting that one. Side by side to the corner they go. Racing Room is giving Jenson Brickley sees an opportunity, and now Jenson has the inside line. So Victor Anderson being kept pushed out on the outside line. A little bit of a lock of the tyre too. Can't get the car, can't get the nose back in. Jenson's through as well. So 3rd and 4th position for the 2 Cupra drivers now. Down into 5th place goes Victor Anderson. Santiago Concepcion having a little look as well, fancies his chances against the struggling Lincoln Co. Santiago gets the inside line and charges down. Santiago Concepcion, very aggressive move, and I think Anderson has got some kind of problem. He's dropping like a stone, the bright orange machine. Concepcion finds his way past. Then Jimmy Clary as well. Now to the inside is Ruben Volt. So Ruben has the inside line. I do think that must be some kind of incident, some kind of issue for Victor Anderson. That's not a momentum loss. That's a multiple corner problem in the bright orange car. Such a shame for Victor Anderson. Such a likeable chap, such a likeable team. They've shown so much pace, but so much bad luck. And there you see Anderson to the outside of the circuit. Nico Baldan is the next one to find his way past. Levente Lasonche fires into that one as well. So that opens up then. What that does do, the disappointment for Victor Anderson, also ignites the championship fight. Our top three in the TCR Europe 2024 standings are the top three on track. Franco Girolami from Nacho Montenegro, and then a little further back, 3.9 seconds further back, is Aurelien Comte. So that poor start and the squabble with Victor Anderson is costing the French driver massively. If anything, he's a bit of a cork in the bottle, it seems, at this stage, as Jenson Brickley is very interested in finding a way past for that bottom step of the podium. And wouldn't that be a debut to shout about? A podium on debut in TCR Europe for Jenson Brickley. Still got plenty of racing left to go, it has to be said. Anything can and will happen. We've seen this so many times before, but Brickley certainly seems the quicker of the two cars at this stage. And still the fight continues. Still Nacho Montenegro, what was it last time around? A 41.751 for Montenegro, a 41.573 for Franco Girolami. So Girolami a little bit quicker last time around, eked the gap out to almost a full second. The Online Motorsport driver is most definitely not comfortable as things stand. Montenegro will be straining every ounce of muscle that he's got to try and will that car forward and into the rear view mirrors of our race leader. Where is Victor Anderson? There, we can see him coming at the back of the field. So Victor's still on track, seems to have stemmed the flow a little bit for the dramas that he encountered earlier on, but Anderson not having a great time, down in 11th position. Ruben Fernandez getting a little bit interested into the rear of the Orange Lincoln Co. So once again the bad luck continues. Real shame for Victor Anderson. He's shown pace on so many occasions. He's new to the world of touring car racing, of course. A convert from the USF 2000 single-seater series in the United States. And definitely shows he belongs in touring cars. He belongs at the very front of touring cars. He just needs a little bit more good fortune to convert the obvious pace into race results. The yellow flag I am seeing on my timing screens at T12. That one's quickly got away again though, so somebody's run a little bit deep. But thankfully no need to call the safety car at this moment in time and break up this duel. In fact, a safety car would be quite nice actually. Racing gods, if you're watching. Safety car just to bring the field back together and give Aurelien Comte a little bit of something to chew on. Wouldn't go amiss. 9 laps to go then as we cross the line. But it's still Franco Girolami, relatively comfortable at the head of the pack. A 41.693, plays a 41.730 last time around for these two. That's not where the fight is at this moment in time. That one's calmed itself down a little bit. The real squabble is Aurelien Comte, Jenson Brickley in 3rd and 4th position. Brickley only half a tenth behind last time around. Santiago Concepcion trying to buy him perfectly on cue. Looks like Comte has built a bit of a gap and Brickley has lost a spot. So Santiago Concepcion, car number 33 in the Honda Civic, finds his way past into 4th place, making amends somewhat for the challenging start to the race that the young Spanish driver had. We know he's got the pace and he's converted that very nicely indeed. So Concepcion up in a 4th, Brickley down into 5th, and that gives a little bit of breathing space to one of our main championship protagonists, Aurelien Comte. He doesn't quite have the fellow Cooper for company behind, but I dare say Jenson Brickley will not be significantly enthused about his Spanish counterpart making his way past, and will be pretty keen to do something about it. Jimmy Claire holding on very nicely in 6th place as well. The French driver having a very solid race. Qualified in 9th, did Jimmy? Got a good start, and now he's in the position where he's debating. Does he have a look for finding a way past the warring Concepcion and Brickley, or does he keep his eyes on his mirrors? Take a look at Ruben Bolt behind. Hopefully we pick that particular squabble up soon and see what's going on there as we continue to see Franco Girolami mechanically knocking out the lap times. Last time around, 1 minute 42.068, just under a couple of tenths of a second quicker than Nacho Montenegro behind. So Franco does seem to have stabilised and started to extend that gap a little bit at the front of the field. 1.2 seconds now is the gap between these two. So Montenegro We asked the question, did he have enough pace to get into the conversation? Doesn't look like it at this moment in time. There is our third challenger, Aurelian Comte, and then look at this battle pack. Santiago Concepcion, Jenson Brickley, Jimmy Clary, Ruben Volt, Nico Balban, Clemente Lesonche, and Victor Davidovsky almost as one. And I do think there may have been Giovanni Scamardi on a charge as well, having a look at Ruben Fernandez Scamardi from 15th up to 12th, trying to make that 11th. Will the Belgian driver, though, be able to do anything about that fight? Oh, look at that one. Not Davidovsky, Girolami and Montenegro pushing to the absolute limit last time around. Girolami was the faster of the two drivers, so it's looking like a 2/10 gap, lap per lap, to the advantage of the Monlau Motorsports number 72. Definitely not huge amounts of time, but it's enough to help him through in pit lane. It's Victor Anderson, by the way, so Victor, having had dramas, fair to say, over the opening few laps, trundles down pit lane in the MAGP Lincoln Coast. It's a real shame for Victor. Hopefully nothing too serious, and the team can get whatever problems rectified and that car back out again for race 2, where Victor will of course be starting in 8th position for our reverse grid top 10. So this is Franco Girolami. Let's recap a little bit on who Franco Girolami is, of course. He's our 2022 TCR Europe champion. Had a great season in 22, racing against his teammates. A very strong Tom Coronel was in there for good measure as well. Franco came out on top though, took the title, but had a year in TCR Italy where again championship success came the Argentine driver's way. Back for 2024 with a brand new team, Monlau Motorsports, their first year in TCR Europe. Victor Davidovsky again partnering up with the Argentinian driver Davidovsky. Now having quite a stronger year as we've seen in previous times, but Franco Girolami almost like he never left, picking up where he left out, and that is never a good sign when the door opens on pit lane. Some attention being paid to the the left rear tyre of Victor Davidovsky's car, so hopefully that's nothing too serious. We look at the rear of Victor, front wheels off as well. That car's not going anywhere, unfortunately, for Victor Anderson. As I say, hopefully they can get that one fixed up, sorted out and ready to go again for race 2 tomorrow morning around 11:10, 11:20, CEST. Keep an eye out for that one. We will be deciding championships. As things stand, it looks like champion will be crowned tomorrow. Not quite today. Things run as they are doing, but it's certainly been weighted somewhat in the favour of Franco Girolami. It does have to be said. This has been a real champion's drive from Franco. Did the job off the start line. The second phase of the launch as well was where it was particularly strong in the Cupra, and then he used commitment and bravery to strongly wrestle that race lead away. That's exactly what Girolami needs to do. Aurelian Comte, the back of your shot still, gamely holding off Santiago Concepcion. Santiago, dare say, he's not too enthusiastic about doing anything too aggressive with one of the title's protagonists. But Aurelian, a little bit out of sorts, it seems, in this race. Not quite the pace that we've seen from the French driver in 2024. Of course, Aurelian himself is a former champion. The TCR Europe Trophy, all the way back in 2017. And he's come back again for a full-time campaign with SP competition this year. It showed immediately he's a name to be reckoned with in touring car circles. So 5 laps to go then on the penultimate race of the year here at the Ricardo Turbo Circuit in Valencia. Firm grip on this race for Franco Girolami. Half a hand, it has to be said, on the TCR Europe title for the Argentine if things stay as they are. Nacho Montenegro gave everything he has to give in the ALN Honda Racing Civic behind. Montenegro, not quite enough pace on the day to fight for the victory. He'll still be in for the sporting chance, but it's very much outside of territory now for Nacho Montenegro. No matter what happens though, it does not matter, because Nacho has been an absolute superstar as things stand. Coming here and impressed many people with his pace. And if things stay the way they are, and this feels like a commentator's curse, doesn't it? Doing some points calculations before the checkered flag, but if things stay the way they are and our top three are as they are, then it will be a 19-point advantage for Franco Girolami heading into the final race. 40 points, of course, on offer for the victor, and then 33 points in arrears for Nacho Montenegro. So still, as I say, in the conversation, but it becomes more a case of take the win and hope for misfortune of others. They'll be starting from 10th. Ain't going to be easy from that position. But Nacho, he's still mathematically in the shout, but realistically is going to be back against the wall for this title. Over the line we go, 4 to go. That's still Santiago Concepcion following in the wheel tracks of Aurelien Comte. Not close enough to make an attack, smart enough to know it's not worth making a wild lunge. Regardless, Santiago will be very happy indeed. And there is Sandro Pelletti. Not the first time we've seen that car on the side of the road. Number 54 Audi behind the wall, so I don't think we're going to need a safety car intervention from Sandro Pelletti. It's not been a very strong weekend of fortune today on Saturday. He had a bit of a problem in qualification and then out early doors in the race here today. Lap 5, I think it was, I've just been told. So, shame for Sandro. Hopefully the car will be easily repairable and can be back in action again tomorrow. The team did suggest that they were going to be okay for the race. Maybe that was a bit of misplaced optimism. Sandro Pelletti is 18th and last on the scoreboard. Victor Anderson, where is Victor? Let's have a look, see if he's back on the racetrack or not. Nope, still in pit lane. Oh, and there's Giovanni Scamardi as well. Giovanni Scamardi, teammate with Aurelien Comte. That's a little bit ungenerous. Parking it in the grass where safety cars may be called. Giovanni Scamardi in the gravel, out of the race. That's a real shame for Giovanni, who's running well in 13th position. Yellow flags at T4, T5, and there is the inevitable safety car. That's going to work very nicely for Aurelien Comte, it has to be said. Detached in 3rd position. He's going to be right on the back of Nacho Montenegro, who himself in turn will be on the back of our race leader Franco Girolami. We've seen the marshals already in action here at Valencia. We know they're very good at what they do, very quick at snatching the car away from difficult positions. And there is a disappointed Scamardi, the Belgian driver, exits his Cupra. Marshals running to the scene, great stuff. As always, I love to shout out the marshals, not just at the circuit here in Valencia, but around the world, for fantastic work that they do. And from what I've seen so far, from our racing action and our practice and testing action, and the support racers too, they're very quick at extracting a car from a malarial position. So I dare say the SP Competition Cupra won't be there for too long. But it does give us an opportunity to get our Cupra safety car back out on track. And Franco Girolami, having done all of the work he needed to do, 1.8 seconds, was it? No, 1.6 seconds was the gap before everybody has to slow it on down. It's going to be precisely 0 as a slow trudge through the gravel for the Belgian driver. Wrong way, Giovanni. Need to go over the barrier, not back to the car. No doubt he's got to release the gear or something to allow it to be dragged. Giovanni Scamardi into retirement, joining Sandro Pelletti. And Victor Anderson, still in pit lane. He's not a retiree yet. I do think Victor's day is done as well. So 3 cars out, 3 laps to go, but we've got a safety car, so we can stretch it for a further 2 laps, should the need arise. And I told you it was commentator's curse doing championship points predictions if things stand mid-race. And lo and behold, right on cue, something's come in to stir the pot somewhat. That would be the safety car. Montenegro getting a little bit of clean air through the front grille. His ALM Honda. Nacho's got an opportunity, for sure, with the Argentinian driver. Second place ain't no good with Nacho Montenegro. What he needs to do is paint himself to the rear bumper of Franco Girolami and see if an opportunity presents itself when we go green flag running. Go then 1 by 1 formation, of course. We have to run down the pace a little bit. Make sure that it's nice and safe for the marshals and safety workers on track to do their work. Get rid of the Cupra. behind the barriers and into a safe spot before we can go green flag racing again. Jack, just put yourself in the position of Franco Girolamo. You've done the hard stuff. You've almost smelled the champagne for victory. And then a curveball of the most significant style is thrown your way for the safety car. And not only that, 2 cars behind him, they're the 2 cars of the championship contention. Ron Dennis once said, somewhat suboptimal. I think that is probably finding more fruity language in his native tongue in order to describe how he's feeling. Is Franco, but he's a professional. He's been here before. This is not the first rodeo for Franco Girolamo. He'll know how to deal with this one as the lights are still very much ablaze on the safety car, and there we go, perfectly on cue. Thank you very much. Stamati's car being dragged through the gravel from behind the barrier of the snatch vehicle. Doing great work. So as I say, we can add 2 laps to the race length. Hopefully we can get that car cleared quickly and be back in green flag conditions before the timer runs out. 4 laps are on the board. Now I've got a little bit of time. About a 1 minute 40-second lap time at racing speed here in Valencia. Around a 2:20, I would say. Under safety car conditions, maybe even a little bit slower than that one, maybe about 2:30, 2:40. There is the safety car leading us through. Doesn't it look great to see all those TCR cars in the field? Fabulous entry list for this final weekend of racing in 2024. Returning drivers from David Ton. Speaking of, Nicholas Taylor having a solid race in his first race in TCR Europe. Started in 14th position, moves up to 13th, does the Audi driver. Splitting brothers Ruben Fernandez and Victor Fernandez, respectively 12th and 14th places. So, car behind barrier, almost complete. Safety car lights are extinguished. What does that mean, folks at home? You know what that means. It means we're going green flag running once again. 3 laps then to decide this one. We're on our lap 4 to go. And across the line it will be 3. And Franco Girolamo will have more pressure than a pressured thing in Pressuresville coming into this one. Nacho Montenegro is most certainly keen to get started, but a good launch for Franco Girolamo. He goes early. Does the Monlau driver clean through the final corner. Montenegro following in hot pursuit. Then just behind him, Aurelien Comte. Montenegro, remember, needs to make this move. He needs to take the opportunity that is presented to himself. But Franco Girolamo, I think, has timed this one picture perfect at the front of the field. A little bit of a lock-up on cold tyres. Keeps it, though, on the racing surface. Great stuff for Franco Girolamo. A textbook relaunch. And I do think, if anything, Nacho Montenegro, rather than being an attacker, is a bit of a defender at this stage, as Aurelien Comte is closer to Montenegro than Montenegro is to Girolamo at the front of the pack. So Nacho, half a mind on the team championship as well. For ALM Motorsports, but Nacho Montenegro more concerned as things stand about trying to find a way past the bright red machine ahead. Santiago Concepcion keeping a watching brief as well. Concepcion in 2 minds as to whether to attack or to watch the title battle unfold ahead of him. The Spanish driver, though, will be very keen to have a first taste of champagne on the bottom step of the podium if he possibly can. Jenson Brickley as well, also keeping a watching brief, waiting for an opportunity. He's got some pressure, though, from Jimmy Claret behind, and Ruben Volt. He's moved forward as Ruben Volt, but perhaps, no, in fact, he's moved backwards, should I say, down to 6th position. So a little bit out of sorts for Ruben Volt compared to what we're used to seeing, it has to be said. He's under pressure from Nico Baldan. And there you can see exactly how much pressure has been applied. In fact, what's happened to Baldan? I don't see him. There we go. Nico Baldan has dropped quite a few places. So not sure what's happened to the Italian driver, but at the front of the field, it is still Franco Girolamo. Look at the gap he's managed to drag out from Nacho Montenegro. I'll tell you exactly what it is when we cross the line to complete lap 13, start lap number 14. 9/10 of a second. That's, ladies and gents, how you do a restart in a touring car. Franco Girolamo, perfect at the front of the field. Montenegro doesn't have the legs, it doesn't seem, at this stage. Ruben Volt was getting a little bit interested in Jenson Brickley. Extending track limits, it has to be said, is Ruben. And the exit of the T1. Very, very easy to do indeed. And down in pit lane, Baldan is in pit road. So Nico dropped down a little bit. We didn't see what happened in the live, but whatever it is, it requires Nico Beldan to come and make a visit to the pit stop, so that's his day done and dusted. And almost equally spaced first, second to third position. It is Franco Girolamo with a couple of laps left on the books from Nacho Montenegro. Track limits for car number 7, that was Aurelien Comte. Not going to be too bothered about that one, it has to be said at this stage of the race. Aurelien doing everything to wring a little bit more pace out of that SP competition Cupra, but it's just not there for the French driver as things stand. Aurelien Comte is going to be in a difficult position for race 2. Of course, he'll start in front of his main championship rivals, courtesy of the reverse grid, and healthily in front actually for Aurelien Comte, but he's got to go out there and take a win if he possibly can. And there's a little squabble further back as well. Nicholas Taylor having a think about looking at Ruben Fernandez, but there was no Nicholas Taylor size holes in which to insert the Audi on that particular occasion. Crossing the line then, that is confirmation that Nico Beldan is in pit lane. Bonnet up. As we look at the Beldan group by Com2U machine. And that's a move. That is a move. Santiago Concepcion on Aurelien Comte. That is a big, big move. Aurelien Comte left the door open. Santiago would have been rude not to step through it. Now to the outside for the French driver. This has got championship implications for Aurelien Comte. He does not need this one. I wondered if Santiago would be generous. Apparently not. Running side by side, a little bit of rubber in his racing as well. Comte has the inside line. Comte takes the position back. Santiago Concepcion not giving up just yet, but Aurelien Comte sleeping for a moment behind the wheel. The Honda driver took the position, but he fights back, and Comte's almost contact between the two. Santiago Concepcion almost catches the rear of the SP driver. Great stuff to avoid secondary contact, and Aurelien Comte will have eyes like dustbin lids at this stage in the race. That is closer than you would like it to be, but the end result is as they were in third place. But Comte is struggling, he's hemorrhaging lap time now. Concepcion, does he have another roll of the dice in these final few corners? The Spanish driver maybe once bitten, twice shy, but at the front of the field are two race leaders serenely on, with Franco Girolamo ahead. Oh, there's contact further back. That's Jenson Brickley going sideways. Contact between himself and one of his rivals. Brickley just about keeps it on the track. As now we head into the final corner. Franco Girolamo from second on the grid. He survived a safety car, he survived a restart, and he takes the maximum points haul at the front of the field from Nacho Montenegro. Aurelien Comte, despite all of the enthusiasm in the world from Santiago Concepcion, crosses the line in third position. Jimmy Clary at the death moves up in a fifth. Somebody's running a little bit smaller with smoke from the rear of the car, but that was all of the drama you could wish for. Felipe Fernandez comes through all of that one in sixth place as well. Ruben Volt in seventh. Yellow flag at T1, but we're not bothered about that one because the checkered flag has waved. Nicholas Taylor moves up to 11th. Jenson Brickley stays on the track, but in 12th position. That is not the reward for a great performance young Jenson Brickley was looking for. And Victor Fernandez is 13th. Daniel Teixeira is 14th in the last of our classified runners, but never count your chickens until the hatch, folks. I was daft enough to make a prediction 5 laps before the end, and look what happened. We had a safety car, we had an overtake, we had a bit of contact, we almost had a car in the gravel in the likes of Aurelien Comte, but both drivers survived, thankfully, and we had a grandstand finish. Never take your eyes away from the screen for even a moment, folks, because it all happens in the blink of said eye. And there is Aurelien Comte. Great, it has to be said, sensational recovery from Aurelien to sneak his way back into that podium position he lost. Kept his head in all of the drama, and that was very, very cool, calm and collected from our 2017 TCR Europe Trophy champion, Aurelien Comte. There is Jenson Brickley. Car damaged, family run team as well, so that one's going to hurt, it has to be said. And Brickley, slam on the door, suggests he was not amused by what occurred there on the final lap. A lot of cars, small amount of racetrack, all want the same bit of real estate. Sometimes these things do happen, and Jenson, regardless, has shown enviable pace on his debut in TCR Europe. It's a shame it had to end that way. The history books will say 12th position, but we all know that was a much more competitive showing indeed from our leader in the points in TCR Spain. There is, who will no doubt be very satisfied, it has to be said, Franco Girolami. Could have all gone wrong starting from second. You're in the firing line. I must admit, I suspected it would be a defensive drive from Franco just to bank the points. Proved me wrong. With a champion's drive there. The lead at the first corner. Held on, had the pace, survived the safety car as well. Let's have a look at some highlights then. That is the launch that got Franco Girolami into the lead. Nothing at all that Montenegro could do. Got a bit tight further in the pack, but everybody survived more or less through those opening few turns. And then it was all about Franco Girolami, 10th by 10th, eking out the pace at the front of the pack. Aurelien Comte didn't have the pace. He was fortunate, it has to be said, that some kind of dramas befell Victor Anderson. Anderson was the interloper, and there is the move for the bottom step of the podium. The soon-to-be unlucky Jenson Brickley kept a watching brief in the early stages as a few of our drivers squabbled for position further back. And then it was launch time. That is a nice little fight between two ALM cars, but not our two race leaders. That is Davidovski, of course, and Ruben Volt having a bit of a squabble further down. Both drivers somewhat subdued, it has to be said, in this race. At the front of the field, though, it was all about Franco Girolami. That is Levente Lasonche launching past Victor Davidovski. How Ignacio Montenegro would that have liked that to have been him? And then, of course, we had the safety car for the stranded car of Giovanni Scamardi, but Franco Girolami not fazed by that whatsoever. This is the story of the race, though. Santiago Concepcion putting one over on Aurelien Comte. Would not have expected that one, the French driver. He fought back in very fine style, though, and it almost ended in tears. But Concepcion held it together and managed to avoid contact. And then Jenson Brickley had a lot less luck. I think that may have been Jimmy Claret. Brickley goes for a day at the beach. It's nice weather for the beach, but not in the middle of the race. 12th position would be Jenson's out of the flag. The bottom step of the podium just would be Aurelien Comte. But the big winner, of course, is our race winner, Franco Girolami, who extends his lead at the top of the table. And there he is, celebrating. I push there of Cupra, of course. Handshakes all round. Still got his helmet on. He'll soon get that one off and get the winner's cap, though, from Kumo. Big hugs all round. And so it is deserved. That is a champion's drive from Franco. He's not secured the championship, of course, but that is most certainly a champion's drive from Franco Girolami. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. And while they're celebrating, another group of people that will be very happy indeed, maybe not so much on Nacho Montenegro's side of the garage, but the team in general, of course, ALM Motorsport become the TCR Europe Teams Champion. So fantastic stuff for ALM Motorsports. Their very first championship, and a very well-deserved one as well for the Honda squad. Really impressive stuff from ALM Motorsports. We'll be speaking to them in a little while. We'll be speaking, of course, to our race winner, Franco Girolami, in a few moments' time as well. The crowd surrounds Champ, as he's known. So then, let's head down with Neil Hudson, who is speaking to our race winner, Franco Girolami.
Hi, Franco here, the winner of the race. Puts one hand on the championship, but he's still got another race to go. How was that race for you?
First of all, thank you to all Cupra, Monlau, for this amazing car. I just drive the car. I try to not make a mistake. It was very, very tough with Montenegro. Okay, in the end, I could open the time with him, but okay, he never let me cool down. So amazing show for Montenegro, and nothing. We need to keep pushing, keep forward. This is nothing. It's just a point. This is out of point together. So we just keep focused.
Well done. But good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Vamos.
Okay. Vamos, indeed. A visibly emotional Franco Girolami there. He knows that he'll never admit it. He doesn't want to tempt fate, but half a hand is absolutely on the championship now, and more than half a hand is on the team's championships. I can see on our screen there that it does look like Neil Hudson as ALM Motorsport Honda Racing team manager Martin Lauer to talk to. So Martin Lauer will be rather pleased, even though it's been a disappointing day for Nacho Montenegro. So let's head down again to pit lane to speak to Martin and find out his opinion on being a team's champion.
Okay, here we are, Martin. First TCR Europe Teams title for ALM Motorsport. Fantastic season for you. Still a race to go as well tomorrow. How's it been for this season?
Yeah, exactly. It has been a fantastic season. Never thought that it will turn out that way, but we had a trio of very good drivers, a mega team. I would like to take a second and thank every single person in the team. So. Honda, Yas Motorsport, all the mechanics, all the engineers. So huge thank you. It's your win, and obviously the drivers, and all the fans and family at home. So yeah, mega. Thank you very much.
And Nacho tomorrow still can win it. What are the hopes?
Exactly. It's not over until it's over. So it's racing.
No.
Fantastic stuff then. Martin Law, team manager of the ALM Motorsports team, will wrap up their first team's title, and a dominant performance it was in the team standings. A brilliant outfit, very, very well put together. And as Martin mentioned, 3 outstanding young drivers that are very much the future of TCR competition. In fact, no, they're not. They're very much the here and now. Nacho Montenegro still has aspirations of his first TCR Europe title. He's got a bit of work to do in race 2 with the reverse grid, but it is most certainly not beyond the realms of possibility that it could happen. So then, confirmation of your provisional results. It is Franco Girolamo from Nacho Montenegro, first and second place. Aurelien Comte, by the skin of his teeth, finishes at the bottom step of the podium in third. Very impressive from Santiago Concepcion. Fourth position of the checkered flag to complement his fourth in qualification. Jimmy Clary finished in fifth, and Felipe Fernandez, helping the Diamond Trophy Challenge somewhat, finished in sixth place ahead of Ruben Volt. Levente Lasonche, an out of sorts eighth at the checkered flag from Victor Davidovsky. Ruben Fernandez rounding out those top 10 runners. In 11th place on debut, Nicholas Taylor for PMM Motorsports stayed out of trouble, banked the mileage he needed. Jensen Brickley, trouble found Jensen. He finished in 12th position. Victor Fernandez, on his return, finished in 13th place. And 14th and last at the runners was Daniel Teixeira. Then DNFs for Nico Baldan, Giovanni Scamari, Victor Anderson and Sandro Paletti round out our runners in what has been a rather dramatic race indeed, especially if you look at the last 5 laps, and has a massive impact on the overall championship positions as well. Beautiful stuff. We wanted drama, we had drama, and now we've got quite an exciting time as the podium comes up. 19 points, Aurelien Comte is behind Franco Girolamo, and 33 is Nacho Montenegro. But it's all about Franco from race 1. All about Monlau Motorsports. What a performance. National anthem then of Argentina for our race winner Franco Girolamo. He's an emotional guy at the best of the time when it comes to these successes. And TCR Europe promoter Paulo Ferreira giving out the trophies. Third position for a rather despondent looking Aurelien Comte. He knows that his life's going to be a whole lot harder tomorrow. Second place, Nacho Montenegro gave absolutely everything he's got to give. It just wasn't enough to beat that man. Champ, our 2022 champion, 2023 TCR Italy champion, and now moderately comfortable 2024 TCR Europe points leader. Takes the applause of the crowds below. Monlau Motorsports take the team's trophy, and a second one for Nacho Montenegro. Another rookie win, rookie classification win. He's already the rookie champion. He's collecting those trophies, isn't he? The one he really wants, though, of course, the Drivers' Championship. There'll be time now for a quick family photo on the podium, and then in time-honoured fashion, we can spray some of that champagne. Get all sticky and smelly. Wash the overalls overnight. And let's do it again tomorrow. 'Cause it's a lot of fun, this racing, isn't it? Let's have another crack for the final time tomorrow. Maybe not quite as enthusiastic, these drivers, for the family photo as we normally see. A little bit of looking backwards and forwards. It's a good job. They're better at racing than they are at positioning themselves for the pictures. It really is a power trio at the top of that podium, isn't it? Girolami came, won, left, came back, and is winning. And there we go, that's what we do. Now it's time for the champagne. Straight to the team to celebrate. There we go. Aurelien Comte quite fancies having a drink of that one after that race rather than spraying it. He's taking the champagne home. Good lad. Aurelien, obviously deeply disappointed that the pace just wasn't there in the SP car. And unfortunately, third position is not going to be helpful for the French driver. First position is going to be very helpful indeed for Franco Girolami, though. And it's left for me to remind you, of course, that around 11:20 CEST, TCR Europe Facebook page, and also on YouTube, the season finale will take place. We will be crowning a Drivers' Champion tomorrow. The big question is, who will be said champion? Will it be Franco Girolami? He's definitely in the best position for it. Stranger things have happened, though. Aurelien Comte in second. Nacho Montenegro trying to charge his way up through the field in third position. So put a date in your diary. 11:20 CEST is the time and the place to be. What a race, then. We promise you a good one. And a good one thou shalt have. Fantastic stuff here at the circuit Ricardo Tomo in Valencia. My name's Paul Jeffrey. From all the crew, thank you so very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning when we crown a champion. But for now, take care and bye-bye.